Hello everyone. Let's look at today's daily Leetcode problem. 1526 minimum number of increments on subarray to form a target array. Before starting this problem, we shall have a small motivational quote. A student is humble, curious, and open to learning. He never falls into the trap of thinking, I've arrived. They are always asking, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? Right? So it should never always be an completion kind of mindset. It should always be a continuous learning, or what other ways that you can improve or learn. So that should be the mindset when we are learning something new, right? Stay curious. So let us look at this problem. So okay, so let me just go back to the Leetcode editor. So return the okay. Okay, so let's understand the problem statement here. You are given an integer array target. You have an integer array initial of the same size as target with all elements initially 0. In one operation, you can choose any subarray from the initial and increment each value by 1, right? So this is the key point. We can increment each value by 1, return the minimum of a number of operations to form a target array from initial. The test case are generated so that the answer fits in 32-bit integer. So one other main criteria to look at is this part, 10 power 5, and also the number starts from the target array always starts from 1, so there is no need to think about 0, right? And to 10 power 5. So this is a pretty uh, medium level or an lower medium level problem, even though it is marked as an hard one. We need to have a proper thought process before even having to write any piece of code, right? So let's understand what how we can derive a solution for this problem. So let's look at this example. So here, if we see, we have been given with this 1 2 3 2 1, right? So these two elements, or let's say we have an initial array of all zeros. So first operation will be to change all the elements as we see here. So this will be first operation. So next operation will be to see if any of these set of elements are greater than the first one. So then we also need to increment the specific uh, set of subarray. But one key thing to note here is they're asking the minimum number of operation, the number of operations. They are not asking us how we increment it or what subarray we choose here. It is just the number of operations, minimum number of operations. So this part of the understanding this part of the question of what is required will help us better approach this problem rather than having to write more solution than what is required here, right? So we can say first operation we change all of these to 1, and in second operation we change all of these to 1. Finally we do this one. So totally there would be one, two, three set of operations that we are required to do, right? So that's what is being denoted here. Similarly here we do 3 operations and also 2 operations here, right? So that's what we are going to do. So 3, and finally finally this one, right? In case of this one, we are going to increment all of these by 3 times, and also we are going to increment 4 times 3 plus 4. These are the two values that we are going to increment. So if we look at this problem closely, so we should come down to a conclusion saying that uh, we can come to a conclusion saying that if the answers array or the input array is 0, then we can simply return. If the target array is 0, we can simply return 0 as well. When there is some array size with respect to target, we firstly need to increment target 0 with the value of target 0, its value number of times, since we only can increment each value by 1 as per the problem statement that we see here. uh, we can in one operation you can choose any subarray from initial and increment each value by 1, right? So this is also another key observation to note. Okay, with that being said, I will write our approach that we should be thinking about. So the thinking to take some time and think about how we can solve this problem. So it is not the way that we increment the initial array to the target array. It is just the number of operations is what being asked, whether it's 5 or 6 times to make initial array equal to target array. So firstly we are going to take the value of target 0, and this will be our initial answer, and we iterate through target array and see if the current target I value and the previous target value have any difference. So if there is difference, then we also need to perform some number of operations to bring them to to equate them, right? So or to increase the value, right? So that's where we add up this difference, where we say target of I minus target of I minus 1. So the value difference between two elements, that is also something that we need to add up to the answer. Okay, so finally we return the answer value. So with this understanding, we can quickly solve this problem. The time complexity of the solution would be O of n, and space complexity would be O of 1, right? So let me go to the Leetcode editor and start solving this problem. So the first condition that we are going to write is if and And now we are going to iterate through the so we are going to check if the new target value is greater than the previous index, right? If yes, then we are going to add the difference to the output answer, as the number of operations to increment will also add up, right? So okay, so time and space complexity of the solution would be of 1, right? So let's try submitting the solution. Let's see what the issue is, and which test case that we are failing. one major issue that I missed was with respect to this one. We should be checking with respect to the previous element. The same goes here, right? Now this should be sorted. Now let's try submitting and let's see if this works. As you can see, the solution gets submitted. Hope you found this video helpful. Please do like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.